Hey everybody, Princess Friend here, and I am here for the February live stream that I had said that we were going to do once a month on the last Thursday of every month, and that is why I am here. So it works out pretty nicely that way that I've gonna go ahead and try and keep this going as a regular thing. So last Thursday of every month, let's make that happen. And if I forget, like somebody needs to like poke me or something and make sure that I don't forget to do it again. So let's see. I'm gonna move my mic slightly closer, and I have my stuff there. And I see Funkchild. Yeah, Funkchild was first. I do see there. I do have the little chat box here. So if anybody has questions or whatever, you can go through here. The main question that I've actually been getting quite a bit recently, which is really kind of interesting that I wasn't expecting to be getting the question, I think, as often as I have been getting it. But the question has been, when am I going to review Prince's Black Album? And you know what? It's going to be a little bit here. I was actually planning on doing the Black Album after the Gold Experience. They were out in the same year, but the Gold Experience was technically the next one that I was going to do, along with a few of other reviews that I'm doing. Like next week is going to be Michael Jackson's Dangerous review. So, I mean, that's going to be a fun one to do. And we have a lot of really fun stuff kind of going, and my schedule was thrown off quite a bit actually by my surgery, because I was basically unable to make videos and do a ton of stuff for a while there. It sucks, but it is what it is, kinda. Blakely Oozlim, man, the L I think is what's throwing me off. You guys just ask questions right into the chat, and I'm following along, so I'll be able to see what it is that you guys type. So that's the easiest way to do that. And so, do that. And hello, Alexander, Diane, Crazy Music Geek, Cassandra, Suze, Salsa. Oh, okay, okay, salsa. And so stuff like that. Thank you so much for showing up. Also thank you, Michael. It was so nice of you. I've been wanting to hook up with you. We need to make that happen soon, by the way. Michael Dean from the Prince Podcast. So Funkchild asks, do I like metal? And if so, what is my favorite band or style? Well, metal is a style. So I don't know if there are actually. Well, I guess no. There's like death metal, and there's a bunch of there are a few different kinds of metal. I think my favorite metal and industrial. Yeah. Anyway, I think I like industrial quite a bit. 9 Inch Nails, I'm a huge fan of. I don't know really if you would count them as metal. I'm not exactly sure. But I really love Seven Dust, which is actually one of my really favorite metal bands. And Marilyn Manson. I'm a fan of Marilyn Manson. That is what it is. So there you go. Salsa says about our favorite Prince LP. Oh, I guess which one is my favorite? Right now, like today, I would say Artificial Age is one that I've been listening to quite a bit recently. So it's been really, really cool. It's to really be doing, really be like changing my favorite album. It's been, years and years. It's always been the Gold Experience, and like somehow it's no longer the Gold Experience just because it just became this amazing thing where he wrote this Artificial Age album, and it's just an amazing thing. I just love it so much. Oh my God. Gold Experience, I guess, is right now my second, which is weird for me. All right, so BB, welcome to the first time at a live stream. It's basically just me sitting in my office, and I am gonna talk into a camera for a while and answer your guys' questions and just kind of have a fun conversation. So let's see. What is my all-time favorite piece of Prince merch? That's an interesting question from Alexander Rosado. In terms of merch, I didn't really buy that much merch, but I did when I went to the Jam of the Year concert. I did buy. I always buy a shirt whenever I go to a concert to remember that concert, and some of them still fit, and some of them don't. I've gained a little bit of weight, but the but the Prince one, I remember I bought it extra large. Like it was like I was like a medium, and I bought like a 2X because that was all that fit. Like that's all that they had. And it was an amazing one. It was him in his like his white Betcha by Golly Wow like jacket on the front, and then it said love on one sleeve and sex on the other, and then it had a giant Prince symbol on the back, and it was like my favorite shirt that I ever owned, and I wore the hell out of that shirt to the point where like I have it folded up in a drawer. Like if I touch it, it's going to like disintegrate, because I've just used it. I've worn it so much. So but yeah, that's I think that would be my favorite, but I'm also not one for like necklaces and hats and stuff like that. Like I'm definitely a t-shirt guy. So there's me. So let's see. Am I going to the June celebration that they're dedicating the bench to Prince? No. And thank you for the question, Cassandra. No, honestly, what I am doing here, I'm going to Celebration 2018. That's going to be in April, so not June, and it's costing quite the pretty penny to actually go. So I don't see myself going back to Minneapolis for the dedication, sadly, but I'm anticipating that Celebration 2018 is going to be amazing, amazing fun. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh, it's it's like, oh my God, it's like less than 2 months away. It's going to be amazing. So let's see. Salsa Jones says, why am I paying to communicate with you? You don't have to. I mean, you're paying for your internet connection, I guess. There is the extra option of, you can pay usually for like channels that have like hundreds of thousands of people and they all show up, then you might want to pay to make sure that I see your question and whatnot. Not really necessary. I think we have 37 people here, so you don't really have to pay. But if you feel like dropping a couple bucks, all the money helps for making sure that I get the videos out. That's kind of the thing. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to address everybody's questions here. How do I feel about early rock and rollers like Elvis, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, Fats Domino, Little Richard, and others? Very good question, Crazy Music Geek. It's funny. I know that a lot of Prince's music paid homage to a lot of the old acts like that, but I don't know, for me, like I was never able to really get into them. Elvis especially, like I just couldn't do it. I think there was too much country in his music for me to dive all in. But Jerry Lee Lewis I actually quite like, and Little Richard liked it. I liked Little Richard quite a bit too. Of course, Little Richard is like, he's like the man, and then Jerry Lee Lewis was very much a white Little Richard, a Little Richard that was a little bit more acceptable in American culture at the time. So even though the stuff with his cousin and whatnot. So, but Chuck Berry's really cool. I never really got like into him, but I've always enjoyed anytime I've seen a clip or whatever of that. So there you go. Favorite Prince side project? Ooh, that's a good question. The time, like like that's pretty much, that should be like the de facto answer, is the time. If I threw the time out of it, I actually really like the stuff that he did with Ingrid Chavez, and I like the stuff that he did with her, and not necessarily the stuff that came out after he backed out of the project and they wanted to make it more poppy, which that version of her album wasn't necessarily bad, but I don't think it was as good and as artistic as the vision that Prince had for it. So there you go. I would like to know what album you were going to review so I can listen in advance. Oh, next week's review is going to be for Michael Jackson's Dangerous album. And I believe the one after that, let me check my list here. Yeah, the one after that looks like it's going to be for 311's album called Music, which was their very first album. And that's actually going to start my series that I'm going to be doing of first albums from bands. So 311, I think, is going to go ahead and start that out. And I'm going to see if I can get both of those out next week. Definitely Dangerous, hoping I can get Music. If not, it'll be the following week. Reviews take slightly longer to make than like a video where I just kind of pop on and I ramble for a bit, because that one is like I talk into a camera and I ramble for about 20 minutes. I cut it down to about 10 minutes and then I edit it a little bit and then I pop it up and it's done. And that takes like maybe an hour, maybe hour and a half. But a review video takes nearly, I would say, 3 to 4 hours in order to make, which might sound like, oh, 3 or 4 hours, you can make one every day. But father of 3, I have a day job. Actually, I have 2 day jobs, and I'm starting a new business. So many other things that are going on. So, and then also on top of that, doing Prince's Friends. So, not enough time in my day, but I am I am really good at keeping myself busy. So it's all good. All right. Do I like Prince's hair and raspberry beret? You know what? That's actually one of my least favorite hairdos. I liked it, but I think that his hairdo in the Mountains video, I loved it in the Mountains video. I think that it got rid of like this. It was this stuff that was right here. I didn't really like it. Let's see. What do I feel about all the bootleg memorabilia online now? I won't ever buy it. That's from Prince S. That's class. Prince S 7147. What do I think about all the bootleg memorabilia? I haven't really been keeping up with the bootleg memorabilia. I think the biggest one that I've seen is obviously the fact that the guy Moon, who owns who owns part of the royalties for Soft and Wet, was selling his portion of the royalties, his ownership of that song, for like $400,000 or something on eBay. And I was like, what? But he was just like, I think I've gotten my money's worth out of this. And I'm like, yeah, I think that you're not making any money off of it anymore. So you're trying to sell it to somebody who's going to buy it for nostalgia's sake for almost $500,000. So it's not something I would do. I think Prince had a thing. Prince, I'm not going to say I think he did. Prince had a thing about ownership of his music. So for somebody who owned part of that, I'm trying to remember. I think it was because Moon co-wrote it. But for him to want to sell that, and then somebody who had no part in that song then making money off of it, would kind of be against what Prince was for. So that's my own personal thoughts on that. But if you guys have thoughts, you let me know. I'm so used to saying, put them down in the comments, but obviously we can't really do that. I mean, I guess you can put it in the chat box, but it's not really what it's for. Is it true that Paisley Park is running out of money and it will go on the market? I have not heard this. I would have to do more research, but that's a very good question. Let's see. How would I rate Prince's 80s albums? I mean, there were quite a few of them. How would I rate all of the 80s? I think I prefer the 90s and everything actually that came after the 80s, but the 80s were good. On a rating scale from like bad to amazing, I think that they were really good. I don't know where the number scale falls there. Okay, so let's see. Stacy Teeter, oh, you're going in June. That's going to be amazing, and hopefully you will share maybe some pictures or something with me. Everybody's got my email address, princessfriendyt@gmail.com. Feel free to drop me a line. I would love to see pictures or video or whatever of the honoring of with the bench and whatnot. I think that that's really cool, and I love Janelle Monáe as well. Funk Child, really good. So let's see. What format of audio do I prefer? Vinyl, CD, cassette, or digital? I've always had CDs. My very first like music player that I owned was a boombox that had a cassette player and a DVD, not a D, and a CD player. But I only really ever bought CDs, so I grew up with CDs for like ever. And then as soon as I could digitize my library, it was digitized. It was done. I had all digital stuff. It's all on my computer, and it's amazing. So I guess I would say digital. Because my audio preference is not necessarily for sound, it's for convenience of access. So there you go. What happened to Rhonda Smith? I don't know. What did happen to what did happen to Rhonda Smith? I'm not exactly sure. Do you know something I don't know? I don't know. Do I like Janet Jackson? Yes, I do. What is my favorite album of hers? Janet, period. I think that's probably my favorite one there. Do I like any alternative grunge rock bands of the 90s, such as Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Smashing Pumpkins, Cranberries, and others? Whew, that was a long question. I actually like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Smashing Pumpkins. I actually did a review of Siamese Dream on the channel, so if you want to go check that out, you can. But yes, I actually really I like mostly alternative. The grunge thing is not really my thing all that much. I like Soundgarden a lot, but it was really more for Chris Cornell than it was for the music. So I was like, I got on board with Chris Cornell for Soundgarden, and then he did solo stuff, and I like that stuff way more. Alice in Chains, beautiful. I love Lane Staley. His voice was great. Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan, such a unique voice, and he's still making music. They're about to go on reunion now. I mean, kind of reunion. Darcy's not there, but whatever. But I think one of my other favorites was Stone Temple Pilots. I really like Stone Temple Pilots, and not really for the grunge thing, because their whole first album was very grunge, but then after that, they just got way better when they kind of stopped trying to be Nirvana and Alice in Chains and whatnot and became their own thing. And I really, really liked them from there. Rob M. says, is Paisley Park worth visit? I actually don't know yet. I am going in April, and I will let you know, brother. Seriously. Oh, man. So there's that. Do I think Prince was underrated as a bass player? I think he was, because you know, whenever he would, you know, showboat around and whatnot, it was usually with him playing a guitar. He could definitely play bass, but it's definitely not what he was known for. But some of my favorite songs are when he's playing bass. I mean, that's so good. And just the bass effect, the type of bass that he actually throws into his songs is different than just that's actually what I try and tell people about like funk music in general, and especially Prince, because if you listen to most bands, it's do 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 do, or boom 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 boom, and like that's the bass line, because it's really just there to like keep everybody like on the same level. But in Prince, Prince taught himself how to play the bass guitar, and he taught himself how to play it by basically playing it like a guitar. So that's how that works. So he plays it like it's a guitar, and it's really, really fun. I really love that. Let's see. For first albums, yeah. Beatles is one that I've been thinking about doing, but there are a lot of Beatles stuff. We'll get to have a lot of acts that I'm going to be doing some first albums for, and none of them are the ones that you have listed. Crazy Music Geek and Blakely. Neither of you have picked any of the ones that are on my list, but you know what? Those are ones that I can definitely add. They're pretty easy to add. I just go on my thing. So let's see. What do I think about his son? Whose son? I actually don't know whose son. Okay, I can't really answer that. I see but can't hear anything. Oh no, Bianca. What father do I think Prince would have been? I think he would have been a very devoted father. I actually think that from reading Maite's book, it basically told me that he was going to be a way more devoted father than I think he was anything else. I think even more than a musician. I think that, I think that the music and his family were like together, but I think his son probably would have won in the end. Obviously, had he survived. But yeah, there you go. Let's see. 1999 or Sign of the Times. Oh, that's an easy one. Sign of the Times. I don't even. Do I need to like answer that one? It's so weird. Have I heard the rumor that Quincy Jones started saying that Prince wanted to kill Michael Jackson? I have not. And that would be the first I've ever heard of something like that. So no, I haven't, Amelia Rose, but thank you for the question. I might have to check that out. That is a weird one, because I have never heard that before ever. Let's see. How can we get the estate to create a subscription streaming music station exclusively for Prince music, all music? We could create playlists, etc. And that's from MXWL. Um, I don't see I don't see that ever happening, and I don't see the appeal of it, really. I don't think. Mostly just because there are already other music streaming services that they could tap into that already have a foundation. It's kind of like when Jay-Z started Tidal, like he had to basically compete against both Spotify and Apple Music and all of this stuff in order to kind of carve out his niche. And I think he was able to, and eventually, but it was an uphill battle the whole time. So I think it would be a really hard thing to do, to have one, especially if all it was Prince music, or in Prince related music, maybe other MPLS bands and stuff like that. But I think it would still be pretty difficult to justify that as an entire app and stuff. So there you go. Do I think Prince has influenced hip hop and rap? I think to a degree, I think he has. But I think mostly just to the same degree that he has influenced all of music. And I think he has probably influenced rock acts a little bit more, rock and R&B. But I could see hip hop and rap taking a page from Prince's book, especially um, a lot of rappers took mostly his lessons on owning your own music from Prince. And as soon as I think it was economically viable for a rapper to not have to rely on a record label, because of course back in the day you had to have a record label, otherwise you didn't have a record. But I think that rappers were kind of the first ones to just start, with mixtapes and all that stuff. Like that's all kind of in the idea of what Prince was fighting for, in terms of ownership and whatnot. So yeah, so yes and no, but then of course I don't know. I ramble. Um, so let's see. Any news on unrelated music? No, sadly. There was a non-announcement about an announcement coming up that they were working on stuff so that they could possibly announce something. So, but at this point, nothing. Sorry. Um, Bella and Estrada, thank you. By the way, I truly love Prince and you do an awesome job. Thank you so much. I do try. Who is my favorite artist outside of Prince? Ooh, Remixo, switching it up on me. Who's my favorite artist that worked with Prince? Time Members, Vanity, Apollonia 6, Sheila E., blah, blah, blah. I probably would say Sheila E. is probably my favorite that worked with Prince. My favorite artist outside of Prince, that's hard. Possibly Nine Inch Nails. And not really their later albums though, but like he has a lot of the same creativity that Prince had. I don't know. That's a really hard question. I have a lot of musicians and whatnot that I really really love. But my favorite's a hard one. Like I always just say Prince. Like it's easy that way. Um, um, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that for right now because I think that that's probably closest to the truth without me having to take time to examine myself and meditate on that. So, yeah. Anyway, um, let's see. What about Jesse Johnson? Um, Jesse's cool. I have some of his albums. He's good. Um, let's see. Do I think Korn has Prince influence? I don't think that the entirety of the band has Prince influence, but specifically Fieldy, Korn's bassist, he plays a particular type of bass style, which is called slap bass, which is very similar to the way that Prince would play his bass. So I think so. I think that like I said, maybe not the whole band, but definitely Fieldy. I don't have like a quote from an interview or anything like that, but Fieldy definitely he reeks of a little bit at least of that. Alexander Rosado says 311's music album is great. I love their Transistor album. I actually love all of the 311 albums, so I'm actually really excited to kind of jump into them. I see one here. MJ is better. MJ is better than what? Um, oh, I see Prince. Anyway, yes, calm down, dude. Anyone's having problems with live chat? No, I don't think so, Bianca. I'm so sorry. Maybe close it out, maybe reopen it. I'm not really sure. Have I heard the original version of Extra Lovable from '83, and do I like it more than the Hit and Run Phase 2 version? I have heard the '83 version. I also heard the version that he released a couple of years before Hit and Run, which was slightly different. And I think that the Hit and Run version is probably the best one. I mean, that's why it's the one that got released. So I would say so. I would say that that's probably the best one, in my opinion. You know, who likes George Clinton? I do. I did an album review. Go check it out. Cinderella Theory. It was a really good one. Is there an artist past or present? Do I hear a little Prince influence? I had talked about this, I think it was a couple of live streams ago and in various videos, but Miguel, oh my God. And especially if you listen to Miguel's new album, if you don't have it yet, it is amazing. And I can't even remember the name of it at this point off the top of my head. Let me figure it out here. It is called War and Leisure. And it is so good. Oh my God, it's so good. I can't wait. Miguel is one that I'm going to start first albums, and then I'm going to go through his catalog as well. He's only got like a few albums, but he's such a good artist, and he was definitely influenced by Prince. And if you get to see him live, oh my God, it's so good. So good. Bella and Estrada. Oh yeah, the Bob Marley. Do I think that if Bob Marley and Prince ever made an album or song, would it be so jamming or what? I mean, it would. I think Bob Marley was a really good reggae artist. Prince was inspired by reggae. He had only really a couple of reggae songs, but I think the two of them could have made something really good together. I think so. If Prince was still alive, do you think he would have jammed with Stanley Clarke? I actually don't know who that is. That's probably a bad thing that I don't know who Stanley Clarke is, and now I kind of feel bad. Do I think Prince would have retired had his son survived? No, I don't think he would have retired, but I think maybe we would only get an album every other year instead of every year. Certainly not multiple albums in a year, but like you can tell, like just from listening to the albums that he released around the time that Maita was pregnant. You know, he had the sonogram sound of his baby's heartbeat in a song, and like, you know, every song was about the beauty of birth and his child and his love for his child. And it was like, I have to imagine that would have carried over to actually caring for the child. Then again, I mean, who knows? I mean, he might have thought that everything that he was doing was perfect, and he would have been, you know, the exact opposite of his own family for his own kid. But, you know, that's the thing about parenting is like a lot of stuff kind of changes when you actually are a parent. And I have 3 kids, so, and I've kind of been a different parent to each of them as well. So it's kind of, it's weird. Anyway, so let's see. There's a whole lot of, you guys are talking to each other. I love it. Continue doing that, but I do have to sort through and find questions that you want me to address. Do I think Minneapolis will make a street name called Prince Avenue? I mean, they're doing the bench thing. I mean, I guess they could eventually do a Prince, like a Prince Rogers Nelson Avenue. I don't think it would just be Prince Avenue because I think there's Prince Avenues and Prince Streets everywhere. So you probably would have to do like a Prince Rogers Nelson or PRN Avenue or something like that. Ooh, it could be Prince Rogers Nelson Avenue, and it'll be just be like MLK, like, oh, it's over on MLK. It'll be like, it's over on PRN. I like that. We should totally do that. All right, somebody start a petition, and I'll sign it. I think that's going to be really fun. Um, so let's see. Have I ever seen the show Strangers with Candy? Now that's a left field question. I actually have. I was not a fan. I mean, to each their own. I actually really like absurd humor, but I did that show in particular. I even like, and I don't remember her name, but I even like that actress whenever she pops up in things. But Strangers with Candy just never got me. If Prince was alive, do I think that he would make a CD about what is going on in America and Trump? Um, I think eventually he might. The thing about his political stance is that he never really he never wrote something that was like, "Hey you, hey Obama, here's a song about you." It was always talking about politics in general and whatnot. I mean, and like the fact that he released Baltimore, that's right before he died. That right there is him releasing a song about America. So I would say yes, he would continue to do that. So yeah, is other albums that come out before Musicology. All right, cool. Name Prince's sexiest song. Oh, Insatiable. I did a whole list called Prince's top 10 sexiest songs. You should go check that out because yeah, you should just do that because it's a really fun video that I put together. Why didn't Prince use real horns for his first 5 albums? That's actually a pretty easy question. He had kind of messed around with horns, but he didn't play horns, so he didn't quite understand like how horns worked. And this is a good question from DJ Gary. Sorry, I didn't say who was asking it. But it wasn't when he met Eric Leeds and the two of them had such a great rapport. He started learning a lot more about how to arrange horns and whatnot. And then basically after that, he learned a lot of where he wanted horns and how to utilize them. Also, the thing about horns is that they actually bring a kind of a big band kind of style, which is basically what he did, during the transition between the Revolution and the Lovesexy band. He started implementing a lot more horns and the songs started sounding much bigger. Whereas, when he started off, he was a little bit disco, but early 80s, he was basically punk. Dirty Mind, Controversy, even 1999, he was punk. Like it was really, really awesome. He had the greasy hair and he was pushing limits and like that's what he did. And horns, I don't think would have really fit into that. I really, really think that it wouldn't have worked as well if he had horns in his earlier albums. But thank you for the question. That was a really good, really, really good question. I never really had that discussion before. I like it. When are they going to release some more Prince songs? I miss new releases. Prince spoiled us. You are so right, Bellin. Like Prince spoiled me for like everybody. Like I remember like the new like Red Hot Chili Peppers album came out, and I was just like, why did they take 7 years to make this? It's like, what is wrong with you people? Do I like James Brown? Yes, I do. I like James Brown. Great job on my video series. Thanks for putting the time in. Oh, thank you. If there's a particular type of video series that you like, I actually have a few different types. I have the Why Prince Sucks videos that I just started, and I have my Versus series, and I have my top 10 series. I have a bunch of them, so hopefully you're enjoying all of them. But if you have a particular one that you like, do let me know. I enjoy that sort of thing. I like hearing what you guys like because I can do more of that. Did I hear about the Jazz Fusion CD Prince was working on before his murder? I did not. I also didn't hear that it was ruled a murder. So, ooh. But good question. I did not hear about that though. Let's see. Love my baby. He's so cute. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, so there's that. He was the first bass player to play his bass like the lead. Oh, okay, okay. I actually haven't heard any Stanley Clark though. I will go back. I will go and listen to him. Will I do a review for Gary Clark Jr.? I have not heard of Gary Clark Jr., but I will look him up. Easy to do. Do I listen to Prince with my kids? Do you guys dance together? 100% yes. I watch concerts all the time. I listen to music. My youngest, Evan, he is a huge Prince fan, mostly Batman videos. He really likes to dance along with those. And of course, by dance, he's a baby. So it's really just put his arms in the air and do this, or he just stomps. He just stomps a bunch, or he spins. But he really likes dancing to Prince music. So yes, I do listen to it with my kids, and we dance all the time. I'm a big dancer. I like to dance, I like to sing, and my older kids are teens, so of course they're all like, "Dude, stop!" But my little baby's only 2. He's just like, "I will dance with you. It's so amazing. Let's do it." Um, anyway, Bella Estrada, you said, "Did I finish the book that Maita wrote?" And I did. I did finish Maita's book. And it was good. I actually really enjoyed it. Do I think the song "Acknowledge Me" and the whole beautiful experience? What do I think of it? I would like to ask if I can join a video on my channel like King V. Hit me up, love to the nines. We'll talk about it and see if we jive, and then maybe we'll do a video together. I actually have another video with King V. I think we're doing one in March, which is going to be pretty good. I really enjoyed the video that I did with King V, even though I messed up half of it. If you guys watch the Prince versus Michael Jackson videos, the first half is just me because I messed up the audio on the first half of the video, and then the rest of it is with both of us because I figured it out about halfway through recording because I'm a dunce, but it's okay. It worked out. Do I think that Prince didn't want to release the Black Album at the last minute? Oh, do I know why? Yes, I do know why. Prince said that basically it was a whole album full of negativity, and he had come to the realization that you will always be remembered by the last thing that you did. So he actually pulled it because he said, "That's not what I want to be known for." And then he released Love Sexy, which was probably one of the most positive albums that I've ever heard, unless the band is like purposefully trying to make it a positive album, but it's so spiritual and just has so much stuff on that album. So yeah, that is actually why that was the quote that I read from an interview years ago. That Prince said. So there you go. Do I prefer a Parade or Around the World in a Day? I would say Around the World in a Day, mostly because Parade was short and seemed a little what's the word? Chaotic compared to Around the World in a Day, which was really streamlined. Like everything had its place. I think that it was really good. But Parade's good too, but I would prefer Around the World in a Day. Prince is the father of Maite's daughter, Gia. No. Gia is Maite's adopted daughter, so it's definitely not his kid. Let's see. I have to say I'm loving the dynamics of your kitchen, changing the videos. Yeah, I've always heard that you should probably clean like before you record, but again, I'm a father of 3, and chaos happens in my house. The boxes behind me there, that actually has a bunch of dice and gaming tokens and stuff like that because I do game design. But yeah, thank you MXWL for pointing out that my background is not all that great. Now, here's the cool thing though about that is that I'm actually saving up in order to kind of switch around my whole setup here, and I'm going to get a green screen and possibly be able to do all this even better. And up the quality of the videos. So, but it does take money to do that. So if you haven't joined the Patreon, feel free to do that, or you can throw money in with Super Chat here. If you feel like dropping a couple of dollars, here in the chat, you can definitely. But the more that I'm able to make from the videos, then the faster I can get the green screen and start working with stuff. Because I actually figured out how to do the green screen with my video editing software, so I'm pretty excited about that. There you go. All right, most overrated and least favorite song on Purple Rain. I mean, Purple Rain though. I mean, it's a classic for a reason, right? I mean, most of the songs on there are just like 100% amazing. I think that the my least favorite song on there is Take Me With You. And it's not because of Apollonia or anything. I actually quite like Apollonia's singing voice on that song, but I think that um it was a little cutesy compared to the rest of the work on that album. Most overrated song on there, um, probably When Doves Cry. Like, it's a really good song, but like Computer Blue is better than that. Purple Rain itself is better than that. Let's Go Crazy is better than that. You know, that's probably the most overrated because everybody talks about it, but I mean, it's still an amazing song because all the songs on there are really amazing. Um, there you go. um, let's see. My favorite Prince protege, Jill Jones. I actually really like her. She's really, really good. So there you go. When Prince did his change of music around his not cussing anymore, that made his music before rare. You know, I actually just watched an interview with him when he was talking to Tavis Smiley, and he addressed that because you know Tavis actually asked him that he asked him hey, you know, what do you think about people who think you've changed and you're not as like hard anymore or whatever? And you know what? Prince gave two answers that I thought was both were really good. One was um, them needing me to curse says more about them than it says about me. Like, why do I need to curse for you to enjoy something? Which I was like, ooh, that's a really good answer. His other answer was also in the 80s, not everybody cursed and it was controversial. And now everybody does that. So what's so special about it? So he's like, I don't need to do that because there you go. But yeah, I really like that. Um, I liked that answer. That it, you know, it tells more about you than it does about me. That you need me to curse. So I like that. Hey Tony, have I seen Black Panther? Actually, I did. I actually went to go see it last weekend, and it was amazing. I actually went. I was expecting. I went on Saturday night. And I was expecting it to be completely full, and then there ended up being like maybe 20, 25 people in the theater. So it was really, really good. And my anxiety wasn't high because the theater wasn't packed and whatnot, but it went over really, really well. I loved the movie and I can't wait to go see it again. It was just me and my wife went and saw it. So now the next time I got to take my kids to go and enjoy it. You know, I need excuses to see it. So I see it with my kids. I'm gonna go see it with my mom. I'm gonna see it with my wife. Yeah, I'm gonna see it as many times as I can. It's so, so good though. Um, oh, we've been on since 7. So hello, Real 808, and thank you for all your awesome comments. Let's see. I like your curly hair and miss it. Yeah, I got sick of my hair for a while. What about the so-called 50 pages of memoirs? I heard that they're thinking about possibly releasing that, but I don't know. There's no news on that. There's very little news. You know, that's actually I had a discussion about like the frequency of that they're releasing the Prince videos on the Prince official YouTube channel. And it was 3 a week for a while. Then it was 2 a week. Then it was 1 a week. Then it was 1 every 2 weeks. And now it's been a month and we haven't had one. So I'm not exactly sure. And there was a comment from somebody, and they were like, "I wish that they would, you know, tell us if they're going to change it." And then I realized that they actually don't have any good ways of communicating with the Prince community at this point. There just isn't. So like, you know, do I know of any new albums? No, they're not saying anything. And I think like if they want, I mean, tell that they can contact me. I'll put the news out there if they want me to. You know, I'll put it out. But it's just like there's just no communication at this point. Everything is so in the dark, and I think it's because they're still trying to figure out what they're doing with Comerica and all of the back and forth and all the legal stuff. I mean, they're still trying to figure it all out. Oh, hey, Mr. Ant. It is past midnight, and well, thank you so much for stopping by. Mr. Ant is really awesome. If everybody hasn't checked out Mr. Ant's channel, you should. Why is Purple Rain not uploaded to the official Prince channel? Was there a video for Purple Rain? I didn't actually know that there was. I think it's because there wasn't a video for Purple Rain. That's going to be my official answer, but I'll have to look it up and see if I'm actually correct. So yeah, so let's see. How come I didn't do the Black Album after Sign of the Times? Because I actually wanted to do the Black Album when it was officially released the next time and not when Prince didn't want it released. I wanted to do it when Prince wanted it released. So good question from the Movie Guy 23. That is actually why I didn't do it then. Yes, it was written then, and that's from that era, 1988. But I really wanted to move it to the 1995 date that it was actually ended up being released for real to the public, and not like the sealed copy that's like super rare and all that stuff. I just, because when I bought it, it was just the regular one. I kept looking for the rare one before they released it, and like I saw somewhere like $300-400, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't afford that. And then they were like, oh, but we're just kidding, here you go, here's an album. I was like, yay. So anyway. Do I think that Prince and Michael could have done an EP together? No. And I think I answered that last time in the last live stream. I don't think that it would have worked. I think that Prince would have tried to apply his style to Michael Jackson, and I don't think it would have worked. And then if Michael Jackson tried to apply his style to Prince, I don't think it would have worked. Their two types of music were very different. So yeah, there you go. That's my opinion. I mean, maybe it would have been amazing. Who knows? So yeah. So anyway, do I have some Prince versus album? Oh, can I do some Prince versus albums? Tell me what you mean from that, Tony. I can probably work something together if you tell me. Hey King V, thank you for showing up. King V's here, and if you haven't subscribed to King V's channel, obviously do that. Let's see. Trying to get New Power Soul, can't find anywhere to download it. There isn't anywhere to download it. You're gonna have to buy the CD and then rip it to your computer. That's basically what you're gonna have to do with a lot of the Prince albums at this point, is buy the CD and then put it on your computer so that then you have the files. That's how all of mine are on my computer, definitely. What does Purple Rain mean to me? Purple Rain, I always thought that Purple Rain was like, and I could be wrong, to me it was always like the Purple Rain was like God's tears, like something so sad is happening that it makes God cry. That was always the way that I interpreted it. But again, I could be wrong. Let's see. Raywin Harris, am I going to visit Paisley Park? You know I'm going to visit Paisley Park. I'm going to Celebration 2018. I did a whole video about it. You commented on it. Of course I'm going to go. It's going to be amazing. 4 days of live music, Paisley Park, going around all the different places. It's going to be so fun. I really dug the post-religious music. I actually really enjoyed Prince's religious music as well, which was why the second video in the Why Prince Sucks series, I wanted to do a talk about the religion, because that was a big deal to Prince, and it played a big part in why Prince's music was so unique, but also why it didn't reach as many fans as I think it could have. So there you go. That's my thought there. New Power Soul is very good. Let's see. How would a movie be like on Prince? Do I think it should be and shouldn't be, and who should be in it? Just in case you guys hadn't heard, they're doing, the Reels channel is doing another freaking Prince thing, and now it's going to be a movie, and it's going to be terrible because oh my god, Reels is so bad. Oh god, I'm not looking forward to that. Who was Camille? It was Prince. Let's see. Have I heard the unreleased song Hold Me? And if so, what do I think about it? I have it. I think I've heard. I think I've listened to it, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. So I can't listen. I can't answer that, but I will next time. I will have listened to it before the next for the next live stream. You call me out on it. It'll work out. There was a Vanity Six movie that was never showed up. I haven't heard about that. You are like, you know lots of stuff. You know a lot of rumors about things, Kenneth, but I haven't heard any of those rumors. So I don't know. So weird. Um, let's see. What do I think of the song Acknowledge Me and the movie The Beautiful Experience? Love to the Nines. Well, I did a review of the Beautiful Experience movie, so go check that out to find out exactly what I think of that. The song Acknowledge Me, I think, is really good. It's not one of my like all-time favorite Prince, songs or whatever, but I think it's a solid song. So it's very good. Um, let's see. Wish I could hear Deliverance again. Deliverance is really good. I listen to it all the time, actually. It's really, really good. All right, Janella Jar Compost. All right, so Maite, she adopted Gia from a woman whose husband or boyfriend ran out on her, and she wanted her to go to a good home. So nobody knows who Gia's birth mother is, and nobody knows who Gia's father is. But Gia is now Maita's daughter. But I don't think none of the other information has ever been disclosed. It's all very confidential, as most adoptions are. So hopefully that does answer your question, though. Hopefully. Let's see. Do you think the dislike for MJ stems from Purple Rain era fans? Because you posted a video, there was fans in it saying a lot of negative stuff. Yeah, but whose dislike? You're I know some people like Prince more than Michael. Some people like Michael more than Prince. It is what it is. But you're right. But they're always constantly being compared, which was why it was a fun exercise for us to do in a video. But they're constantly being compared. And even back then, like you said, hey, what do you think about Prince? And all the people go, I like Prince because MJ sucks. And it's just like, we didn't actually ask you that. You know, it's so funny. It's just so funny that like that was what they led with. It's just crazy. Versus okay. So Tony, send me like a note or like a comment or something and kind of explain what you mean a versus series. Are you saying like 1999 versus another Prince album? Because I could probably do something like that. I'm assuming that that's what you mean, but if not, hit me up. Let's see. Is Prince going to remaster his 1999 album like he did with Purple Rain? Well, Raywin, I don't think that Prince is going to do anything because he has passed away. But will Paisley Park remaster 1999 and will the estate and his heirs and whatnot? I think so. Yes, probably that's going to be the next major release that we get. Of course, again, if they do it, I did a whole video about this, but if they do that release around the time that 1999 was originally released, then we're looking until like October, November before we get another album, and I really hope that that's not it. I'm really not happy about that. I hope that that's not what happens. You're confused about Bellin, you're confused about Prince's relationship with his dad. They did co-write a couple of songs together. The latter, Scandalous, was another one. But as far as I've ever heard, he kind of had an off and on kind of relationship with his dad, and his dad was always nearby, but they didn't really talk. There you go. Not really sure how that works. When Doves Cry is not overrated. All right. Come on, Remixo. I was asked what song on the Purple Rain album is overrated. That was my answer. I'm not saying that the song, in general is overrated. But I think that on that album, everybody kind of flips out over When Doves Cry. But I think that there were better songs on that album. So sorry. There you go. Reels is the worst. Good. That's a very good comment there. Hey, Derek, good to see you. Do I think Prince was inspired by Rick James? Because I feel some of the raunchy style stage presence was borrowed just a bit, in my opinion. Likely. I don't think Prince ever said explicitly that he was influenced by Rick James, but I think that he was probably influenced by a lot of the groups that he toured around with in his earlier years. Because I think Prince was an opening act um, for Rick James. He was also an opening act for Rolling Stones, and these were all groups that he loved, and he probably learned quite a bit from them. So there you go. What do I think about a Vanity biopic? I'd be interested in seeing it. Vanity was never like, my super all-time favorite, Prince protege and whatnot. I like Vanity though, and I'd be interested to see a movie to see kind of where stuff happened. Obviously, if it was truthful, I'm interested in seeing it, because that's the problem with a lot of stuff that you see here. So anyway, let's see. Let's. Ooh. Got it, Tony. Good. I got it. Okay. So, do I think that we'll ever see a reissue of the Gold Experience? Probably not. A lot of those albums in the mid 90s, the last albums with Warner Brothers, they weren't promoted well. They didn't sell well. I mean, they sold okay, but they didn't sell like as much as Warner Brothers wanted. That's why 1999 would be the next album that if they were going to remaster it, they would do 1999, because 1999 was the second highest selling Prince album, after Purple Rain. So that's the one that they would definitely go with if they were going to do another remaster. Is The Beautiful Ones dedicated to Susanna? Okay, that's because it's not Susan, it's Susanna. I thought it was about Vanity. I actually don't know. As far as I heard, it was about Susanna, but I don't know. That's me. I love Michael, but Prince was always number one to me, but they are two completely different artists. True. There you go. So what in the world is up with the Prince YouTube channel? I actually already addressed that, so I'm gonna not repeat, because I only have 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna be out of here. But I really want to get to the last of these questions here. So let's see. Do you know if there's a color version of Under the Cherry Moon? I'm sure there is one somewhere, but I haven't seen it. Prince was the. Let's see. Any tips for musicians? Play with your heart, man. That's what I got for you. Play with your heart. Play what you love, and then the love will shine through. And that comes obviously from a non-musician. I can sing a little bit, but like I don't know if I could write any music. I used to play the trumpet a little bit. But yeah, there you go. Play with your heart. I think that's going to be it. I think that's pretty much it. What do I think of March Cut with Nona Gay? I haven't heard that. If anybody wants to, throw me a track or whatever, definitely do. What do I think of his time at the MPG, his rapping gangsta Prince? I love Prince. I never took Prince as a gangsta. I don't think he was ever trying to be a gangsta, but he was trying to evoke that energy. And a lot of that comes with rap, right? And I think sheerly by rapping, people thought that he was trying to be hard and whatnot. But if you listen to his raps, a lot of his raps were about love. His raps were about not being a slave. His raps were about, being respectful to women. Like, these weren't things that people rapped about back then. So, he was definitely not hard. He was not a hard rapper, but I think that he was such a talented lyricist that it made rap kind of easy for him, because that's what rap is all about. It's all about finding unique rhymes and, making things come together in unique ways. And that's what rap's about. And he did that amazingly with, music that he sang. And it just carried over into the rap just like seamlessly. It was so good. I enjoy his rapping, but a lot of people in the comments of most of my videos say they don't like his rapping, and I'm like, I have no clue. I can't help you. Sorry, I love his rapping. Um, what is my favorite song from the Vault? Old Friends for Sale. Probably Old Friends for Sale. Actually, I actually really love that version of the song. I have a few different versions on my computer, but I really like the version that's on that album that was released. So there's that. What is my let me see. No, I just answered that. How would I feel if they reissued Sign of the Times? I think that'd be great. I think they should. But I think Sign of the Times was like his 4th or 5th best-selling album. I did a whole video about his best-selling album, so go check that out. That's likely going to be the order that they are released in if they have the rights to it. I think Emancipation was like 6. Like, I don't see them reissuing Emancipation for any reason. It's already pretty perfect, so I don't see a reason for it anyway. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Rob. I love you too. Thank you. He said, much love. Let's see. There was no video for Daddy Pop. I am almost to 5,000 subs. Last I checked, I needed like, what is it, like 8 or something like that? Something ridiculous. Some low number. So if you're here on the live stream, but you are not subbed, make sure that you subscribe so that I can get my sweet numbers. And then it finally hit the 5,000. I'm super excited for that. Oh man, I can't wait. I mean, nothing spectacular happens at 5,000. So, I mean, I guess I can wait because nothing is going to change or anything. But it's such a big milestone, hitting 5,000 after, I've been here and I've been doing it for, what is it now? 2 years now I've been doing the channel, and it's just, first off, it's amazing fun to do it. Second off, it's not like it's a job. Like, yes, I have to wake up and I have to do videos and I have to do that stuff, but it's not like I have to. It's like I love to, and that's why I like interacting with you guys. That's why I do live streams. And again, for anybody who's here, we're going to be doing these live streams the last Thursday of every month. That's the goal here. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's how we're going to proceed. And I might pop on and do, 1 or 2 extra live streams here and there, but those will be very sporadic. But definitely the last Thursday of every month, that's what we're going to be doing. Thank you for subscribing, Callisto. I appreciate it. Let's see. Do I like Public Enemy? Yeah, I do. Chuck D is really good. I really like him. What's my favorite song off of Sign of the Times? Probably The Cross. Really love The Cross. That's a really good song. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna cut off the questions there. I have been here. We've been doing this for an hour. So boom. I definitely want to thank everybody for showing up. Again, if you haven't checked out the Patreon, do check out the Patreon. That's an easy way to get extra funds so that I can afford all that extra stuff that I want, like the new mic and all that stuff, and the new setup that I'd like to do for the videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And what I've learned recently is that bell icon next to the subscribe button is like apparently super important for like YouTube algorithms. So if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Go ahead and also hit that bell so that you get notified, and so that it looks better for my channel, I guess, through YouTube algorithms and whatnot. So do that too, if you can. And you don't have to. I'm just saying. But thank you so much for everybody coming. May you live to see the dawn. This has been a lot of fun. I can't wait for next month. See you later.